Hello and welcome to our brand new show, Firstpost Spotlight, where we bring you stories that matter to you from all across the world. From breaking news to the day's biggest controversies, we shed light on issues that shape our world. I'm Alison Lagrange, live from Durban, South Africa. Let's begin with the top headlines. Russian President Vladimir Putin says his country could hold peace talks with Ukraine, but rules out speaking directly with his Ukrainian counterpart, Volodymyr Zelensky. A federal judge has temporarily blocked U.S. President Donald Trump's sweeping freeze on federal funding for healthcare, education, infrastructure, and more. OpenAI claims it has evidence that Chinese competitor DeepSeek used the American company's AI model to train its rival chatbot. The junta ruled Mali, Burkina Faso and Niger officially leave West Africa's main political and trade group, ECOWAS, after over a year of diplomatic tensions. And the Philippines and New Zealand discuss a defense pact that would allow them to deploy troops on each other's soil amid growing maritime tensions with China. Hello and welcome. We begin with the latest from India, where several people are feared dead and around 70 injured in a stampede at the Mahakumbh festival in Prayagraj in Uttar Pradesh. The official toll is yet to be released, but reports say at least 15 are feared dead. The stampede took place between 1 and 2 a.m. local time, when millions of Hindus rushed to take ritual baths in the sacred rivers. On one of the most auspicious days of the 6-week religious gathering, the state chief, Minister Yogi Adityanath, said that the stampede occurred after several pilgrims tried to jump barricades that were erected for the movement of religious saints. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi offered deepest condolences to the families of the devotees who lost their lives in the incident and wished for the speedy recovery of those who were injured. The Indian Prime Minister has been monitoring the situation closely and has been in constant contact with the State Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath.
मैं यूपी सरकार के साथ निरंतर संपर्क में हूं। मौनी अमावस्या की वजह से करोड़ों श्रद्धालु आज वहां पहुंचे हुए हैं। कुछ समय के लिए स्नान की प्रक्रिया में रुकावटें आई थी, लेकिन अब कई घंटों से सुचारू रूप से यात्री स्नान कर रहे हैं।
The state chief minister said that the situation was under control now, but a massive crowd of pilgrims continues to arrive for the holy dip.
गंभीर रूप से घायल हैं, उनके उपचार की तत्परता के साथ व्यवस्था भी की गई है। उन सबके सकुशल स्वस्थ होने की भी हम कामना करते हैं। लेकिन मेरी अपील होगी कि कोई भी नकारात्मकता न फैलाने दें और न किसी अफवाह पर विश्वास करें। स्थिति नियंत्रण में है। हाँ, दबाव जरूर है, क्योंकि मैंने आपको बताया कि प्रातःकाल से सुबह 8:30 बजे तक 3 करोड़ से अधिक श्रद्धालु स्नान कर चुके हैं।
Authorities said around 90 to 100 million pilgrims had congregated this morning, and around 30 million had already taken the holy dip by 8 a.m. local time, and around 42 million by 12 p.m. today. Now, the Mahakumbh festival takes place once in 144 years. It is the world's largest religious gathering. Millions of Hindu devotees engage in a ritual bath at the confluence of the Ganges, the Yamuna, and the mythical Saraswati rivers. Hindus believe that a dip in the confluence will cleanse them of their past sins and end their process of reincarnation. As millions continue to throng the confluence point, the state chief minister has urged pilgrims to instead take baths at other riverbanks. Rapid Action Force, a special police unit called in during the crisis, was deployed to bring the situation under control. Videos and photos after the stampede showed bodies being taken away on stretchers, with clothes, blankets, backpacks and shoes strewn around the scene of the stampede. Distressed families were seen outside a makeshift hospital inquiring about missing relatives. Opposition parties criticized the centre and the state governments and blamed the stampede on what they called mismanagement and VIP culture. In a post on X, opposition leader Rahul Gandhi said VIP culture should be curbed. Now, the Kumbh Mela has witnessed multiple stampedes in the past as well. In 1954, nearly 800 people were trampled to death at the Kumbh in Prayagraj. In 1986, at least 200 were killed in the Kumbh Mela at Haridwar. At least 39, including women, were killed in 2003's Maharashtra's Nashik. In 2013, a stampede took place at a railway station during the Kumbh in Prayagraj. It left 42 dead. But unlike the previous Kumbh festivals, this year has been better arrangements, heightened security and tighter vigilance. A sprawling tent in the city has been built on the riverbanks to accommodate visitors. It has roads, electricity and water, 3,000 kitchens and 11 hospitals. About 50,000 security personnel are stationed in the city to maintain law and order and to manage the crowd. Over 2,500 cameras have also been set up to monitor crowd movement and density, so officials can prevent such crashes. Meanwhile, rescue efforts and an investigation into what led to this deadly stampede are underway. Nearly 150 million have already attended the Mahakumbh, including Home Minister Amit Shah, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, and even celebrities like Coldplay's Chris Martin. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi is also expected to visit the Mahakumbh next month. And moving on to some news on the rising tensions between India and Canada, New Delhi has strongly rejected Ottawa's baseless insinuations on foreign meddling in Canadian elections, in a firm rebuttal to false Canadian allegations. Now, the Indian Ministry of External Affairs said that it is in fact Canada that has been consistently interfering in India's internal affairs. The statement added that the Canadian interference has created an environment for illegal migration and organised criminal activities. New Delhi also said it expects that the support system enabling illegal migration will not be further allowed. India's sharp response followed a false assertion by a Canadian Commission report. According to Canadian media, the report stated that India was suspected of using proxy agents to provide alleged clandestine financial support to candidates from 3 political parties. This after Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau ordered a panel to probe the allegations of foreign meddling in elections. The probe report touted India as the second most active foreign entity in the Canadian electoral process. However, it did not provide any basis for these allegations. It went on to say that there is no confirmation for the success of such attempts. Last year, Canada accused China of interfering in its elections, but then it turned its fingers toward India. Canada's tactics to pin the blame come at a time when the country is witnessing a political upheaval. The ruling Liberal Party is looking for a new leader after Trudeau's resignation announcement. He is battling rising discontent against his leadership. Polls indicate that his party is set to lose in the upcoming election. This is not the first time that Canada has tried to blame India for its problems. Earlier in 2023, Trudeau alleged an Indian link to a broad daylight murder. Trudeau asserted that alleged agents of the Indian government killed the Khalistani terrorist Hardeep Singh Nijjar in Surrey. While addressing the House of Commons, he said Canadian security agencies had gathered credible evidence linking the Indian government with Nijjar's killing. However, Ottawa has failed to provide any evidence to back its claims. New Delhi firmly denied these accusations, calling them baseless, and sought proof to substantiate the claims. India responded by withdrawing its diplomats from Canada. Additionally, it expelled 6 Canadian diplomats. The Indian government has long accused Canada of seeking electoral gains, using pro-Khalistan elements which are a threat to India's national security. However, Canada has not adequately addressed the concerns so far. In the United States, President Donald Trump has come up with a bizarre idea to reduce crime: shipping repeat offenders to a foreign land. US President Donald Trump now suggests that American criminals who are repeat offenders could be sent abroad for imprisonment. In what could be described as a modern-day penal colony, Trump said that the US could pay a small fee to foreign countries to imprison such individuals. Speaking in Miami, Trump billed the idea as a cost-saving measure, and he said he is going to get the approval for such a plan in Washington, D.C. Trump said that by doing so, federal government would save a significant amount of money in maintaining U.S. jails as well as private prisons. The idea to imprison American convicts abroad was pitched as separate from efforts that are underway now to deport illegal immigrants. The idea of imprisoning criminals abroad comes amid Trump's administration's efforts to cut the federal budget. In 2024, the budget for the U.S. federal prison system was $8,815 million. It was the largest allocation within the Department of Justice. Now, the budget increase came to cover the rising healthcare costs for prisoners, as well as their daily living expenses. The U.S. prison system also suffers from chronic staffing shortages. The Trump administration has created a Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, to cut the federal budget. Led by tech tycoon Elon Musk, the department already boasts of saving more than $560 million in government spending. Now, this came by slashing programs, contracts, as well as leases. And Trump claims that imprisoning U.S. convicts abroad, apart from saving the government money, will also discourage crime in the country. Experts say that Trump's idea to save money and funds for U.S. prisons is derived from Imperial Britain. In the early 18th century, Britain sent convicts to the American colonies, a trade which ended with the start of the American Revolution in 1775. Britain soon began searching for alternatives of penal colonies and landed on Australia as the next penal colony. However, in the present day and age, the idea to imprison criminals abroad is often seen as contrary to the notion of sovereignty of individual nation-states. It is not clear what inspired Trump to float the idea of temporarily exiling the U.S. citizens. So far, there is no evidence to support Trump's claim that such an idea could reduce crime. The question remains, how far is Trump ready to go to supposedly save federal funds? And shifting our focus to Poland, where a chorus to ban Elon Musk's electric vehicle company Tesla is growing. This is over Musk's recent backing for the far right in neighboring Germany. A senior minister in Prime Minister Donald Tusk's government said that no normal Polish citizen should buy a Tesla. The Tesla boycott calls come amid widespread outrage over Musk's endorsement of far-right alternative for Germany, or the AfD party. Speaking virtually at an AfD event last week, Musk also called upon the Germans to move past their Nazi history. Musk's comment touched the post-Second World War sensitivities in neighboring Poland. Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk called Musk's comments sinister and highlighted how they were made just before the Holocaust Remembrance Day on the 27th of January. Now, Poland was one of the worst sufferers of the Nazi invasion of Europe during the Second World War. The country lost nearly 6 million people during the 6-year wartime period. The Nazi dictator, Adolf Hitler's forces, ran at least 6 death camps across occupied Poland, including the dreadful Auschwitz camp, where over 1 million people mostly Jews, were killed. The call for Tesla's boycott coincides with the launch of new government plan in Poland to encourage electric vehicle purchases in the country. Set to be launched in February, the plan outlines about $10,000 in subsidies for individual EV purchases. The plan was set to benefit Tesla, but amid the boycott calls, it remains unclear if the subsidy benefits can be reaped by future Tesla buyers in Poland. Tesla was the best-selling electric vehicle brand in Poland last year. The Elon Musk-owned firm sold over 4,400 EVs in 2024, which was nearly thrice as many as its nearest competitor, Mercedes. Poland is not the only nation in Europe where Tesla's sales are being threatened by owner Elon Musk's perceived shift to the far right. In the UK, a new study found that 60% of car buyers put off purchasing a Tesla due to Musk's controversial reputation. A similar sentiment was shared between current EV owners and the ones looking to make a switch. The shift in sentiment towards Tesla comes at a time when the automaker struggles with the falling demand around the world. The company also faces increased tariffs on cars it exports from its Chinese factories to the rest of the world. Musk's newfound popularity among the far right is now discouraging several Europeans from buying Tesla EVs. The strong response from Poland over billionaires' call to move past the Nazi history points to the existing anti-Nazi sensitivities in parts of Europe that suffered the worst of the Holocaust. Amid the looming threat of a Tesla boycott in Poland, the question remains, will political interference in several countries bring retaliatory economic costs and losses for Elon Musk? And that's all we have on the show for today. We will see you again tomorrow at the same time. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned to Firstpost.
From breaking news to the day's biggest controversies, shedding light on the world's top headlines, detailed analysis on the stories that matter the most to you. Catch it all on Spotlight at 6 p.m. India time and 12:30 GMT, only on Firstpost.